How's it going, everyone? Adam here, continuing my NHL 14 Be a GM mode commentary as GM of the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, against all the odds, it happened. In 6 games, we beat St. Louis to win the Stanley Cup, bringing I believe, the 24th or 25th Cup to Montreal. I really should look up how many they've won. I keep forgetting. We are about to enter the draft. And yes, we won the Stanley Cup, yet we did not give up our first round pick, and we also got a first round pick from Toronto as well. So we not only won the Cup, but now we have a chance to improve our team for the future. We do have a good core group of guys, but we can get some reinforcements / trading assets. So we can still have a good draft here. Now, look to the right of the screen. You'll see under top free agents there are two. 92 overall defenseman and a 92 overall center. Long story short, those are two of my Be a Pro characters that I created. And I guess, well, I did download the new rosters and updated it, so I guess it took them off their original rosters and it threw them into free agency. Now, yeah, so they're both 92 overall. I'm not saying, although it would be a little bit cheating, I'm not sure if I would sign them or not. It would depend on how much they're wanting in free agency. But yeah, did not intend on them being there, but they're there. So I'm just pointing out why they're there and why you will not see them on your game if you, first year free agency. So let's enter the draft. Actually, no, before we do, let's go to look at scouting. I pretty much know who I want because I have played this game enough. But let's go to scouting report, see what our scouts have to say. I'm expecting Ekblad to be number 1. Yep, so Ekblad and Reinhart, as usual, number 1 and 2. See if there's any good goalies this year. So there's a top guy goalie, Devin Williams. Actually, quite a few first-round goalies this year, so I don't think we need one. We got Enroth, who's going to be hopefully about 84 overall within a couple of years, and Carey Price, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Vezina Trophy winner, and Ted Lindsay Award winner. I don't think we're in need of another goalie, so I'm thinking defenseman and offense. Maybe try to get one of each. We have 2 first-round draft picks, so maybe try to get a forward and try to get 1 winger, something like that. So we're not going to be in the top 5. I know we are... we're going to have the 30th overall because we won the Cup. Toronto Maple Leafs were the President's Trophy winner, so they're probably around like 25 since we got them out in the second round. So I'm guessing they're going to be about the 25th overall pick-ish, maybe 26th. So we're looking late first round. So, around here. If Michael Dell calls there, I would take him. He's always turned out good for me. I'm just looking at the players pretty much after Virtanen because... this is going to be a round where we'll be at. So Michael Dalcall would take him. William Nylander, he is always 4.5 gold star, but I've never seen him get that good. I usually trade him away because he doesn't live up to that potential. But I would still draft him because we can always use him as a trading asset. So if he's there, we're going to take him. Sam Bennett, the 4th overall pick in the actual 2014 draft. He's usually about 4 gold stars, so I would take him. Hosang, never seen him amount to anything. Jared McCann and Hayden Fleury, both good as well, so I would take them. Anthony DeAngelo, he usually, like in the 2 years, I think he usually is up to about like the 77, 79 overall. So he is a fast grower. Also 4 gold star potential usually, so Hayden Fleury or DeAngelo could be good pickups for us. Now, these are supposedly second round. Oh, Varane is also usually really good. So I'm thinking if we can, we'll get a couple second round picks. The one player I know I want to get in the 3rd round, he's always 3rd round. I think we have 2 3rd round picks this year, maybe only 1. Aaron Hayden usually gets up to about 83. Usually when I draft him, he'll get up to about an 83. But the real person I want in the 3rd round is Julius Honka. Anyone who's played this game long enough knows that he is a 4.5 star. It's a red star, but he always gets up really fast. Like within a couple years, he'll already be at 80. So he's a fast grower as well. So those are the players I'm looking at, the ones I mentioned. It'll all depend on where we're at in the draft. Let's look to actually see it contracts, if there's anyone we should trade, because we do have to re-sign Subban. I know that much this year. We have to re-sign Subban. And someone else who I can't remember, we have to re-sign them. Oh, Vanek, that's right. Vanek we have to re-sign. Oops. So let's look here. We have to re-sign Markov. We have to, oh, went up to 87 as well, so he's going to want a bit more money. We have to, well, if we do have room on the team, we'll re-sign Gianna just because he is our captain. But I'm not going to force it. McLennan, I want to re-sign because he's the one who scored the Stanley Cup winning goal, and he's also amazing defensively, great penalty killer, so I want him on the team still. Thomas Vanek, if we can re-sign him, we will. I could probably get him down closer to $6 million, if not into the $5 millions. For those of you who don't know, whatever the player wants, you can just multiply that by 0.85, so take away 15% of that, and they always agree to it. So that's a little trick if you didn't know that. Berglund we have to re-sign as well. He'll probably want a bit more money. LeBlanc is going to be re-signed. So, oh, and Subban. Like I said, Subban. So we have a lot of work to do. So if we can, let's see if there's anyone who's getting a huge contract that we should probably trade away. I know I traded away Descharnay to make cap room. Rene Bourque, if we can get a second or a third round pick out of him, I'll trade him away. Keep Pacioretty because he's got a really good contract for an 88 overall player. And no, so I'm fine with everyone else's contracts, really. Maybe Emlyn. See what we can get for Emlyn. So let's exit out. I'm going to go to trading block. So I'm going to have to answer my phone. Trading block. I had him set to the coach's recommendations, but we're going to take these 2 first-round picks off. We are going to be drafting. Now, let's throw Bourque on there. He's got 3 years left. Let's throw Emlyn on there. We can maybe get a late second-round pick with Bourque or a third round. Emlyn would be a couple second rounds if there's a team that has a couple second rounds, because there is some players to get in that second round. Or he could be a first round, maybe. So we'll throw Emlyn out there. We'll throw Bourque out there. And I don't think there's anyone really else to throw out there. No. So we'll leave everything else the same. Yep. So no one else worth trading right now. We'll leave it at that. Now let's go into the draft. So we don't have to make any big moves if we don't want to, but we can. So we have the 26th overall pick and the 30th. I'm not thinking about moving up. We could combine them and maybe get like the 20th or the 18th, but I think this year's draft is so lucrative. Quantity over, quality is the way to go. So let's go into this draft. We only got one trade to make, so I'm thinking maybe we'll try to move Emlyn in the first round. Later rounds, we'll try to move Bourque for the second or the third. So Washington wants him. Where do they go? They got the 12th, so no, we can't make that move. Vancouver, they have the 10th. We can't make that move. I'm not going to give away any more than just the player, I think. 23rd overall for Emlyn would be a good trade. And to replace him, nope, Ulin, never mind. He's got 3 years on that contract, not worth it. I was going to say, if we can just take some defenseman back, maybe his depth would not be a bad idea. So I'm thinking, let's see if any of these guys have what it takes to make it in the NHL. Nah, none of them. So let's just take a random player. We're going to take this guy, what's his name? Luke Witkowski. So we're definitely in this trade just for that first round pick squarely. Actually, see if I actually want to move him. He was plus 11, but I don't like his contract, and I think we can sign someone in free agency for, better better value. So I'm going to go with this move. Alright, I'm happy with that. See, he's got 5 years on that contract, so I don't like that. Even if we, free agency, you can lose a lot of money, but we can maybe get a defenseman for around the same amount, but for only like 2 years, so that way we, we're out of that contract sooner. That type of contract for 5 years is not working for me, so we're going to make this move. Let's offer it, and we get it done. We're in the draft here. So, quick sim. Let's see who's left on the board. So Del Call's still on the board. We'll take Del Call, I think. He usually turns out pretty good. Yep, so we'll take Michael Del Call. Although, wait a minute, we do have depth. It's one thing I can say. We have depth on the wing. We got Vanek and Pacioretty. Although I did say trading assets. I've seen this guy... I don't know if it's Ben Thomas or Billy Thomas. I've seen some B. Thomas player do well. And I don't know. I think it was in a later draft, though. So maybe I'm just thinking of someone. So I think just go with a safe pick. Frank Hora. No idea if he turns out good. So I'm thinking here. We go for Michael Del Call with this pick. Next pick, we'll go for William Nylander. And then with the final pick, maybe Hayden Fleury if he's still there, or Bennett. Or Verana, or D'Angelo. I don't know. Can't make up my mind. So I'm thinking Michael Del Call from the Oshawa Generals. It's going to be our pick with the Tampa Bay pick. Thomas went next. And okay, so we got options here. I'm thinking, I don't know how good Nick Ritchie turns out. I have no idea. Let me see if I can Google this quickly. NHL 14, Nick Ritchie. Although I don't know if we need another left wing. I don't think we do. So I think nah, nothing's coming up quickly, so I'm just gonna go with the safe pick, take William Nylander from Modo, Sweden. The crafty sniping right winger. We'll take him. And Frank Hora went, Nick Ritchie. Hayden Fleury was who I wanted. We're not going to get him. So instead of Hayden Fleury, we could go with Bennett. But like I said, I don't think we need another center. We have too much depth at center. We got a left wing in Del Call. So I'm going to go with D'Angelo. He usually turns out good for me. So I'm thinking D'Angelo. He's offensive defenseman, which we need. We got a lot of defensive and two-way defensemen. So that is where I am right now. We're going to take Anthony D'Angelo. We got no pick in the second round. So this is where I want to pick up a pick because this is where we can really, really get someone worthwhile. So let's see. Let's go down to... I'm even willing to move like Tenorti or someone to get a couple second round picks or 3. I don't know. Let's see who's got multiple second-round picks and if they're willing to trade them. If we can make a good, easy trade, let's do it. Why not? This is the draft year. This is the year to make a splash in the draft. This can really set you up for the rest of your franchise. Now, I also want to look at who has... So, we only got 1 third-round pick. So, I'm feeling Columbus. I'm thinking this second, and a third. So that way we can get Aiden Herron and Julius Honka. So that is the move I'm seeing. Who do they want from our team? See if I'm willing to give it to them. They want Louis LeBlanc. He's not going to work because of salary issues. So we got Dietz and we got Macaron. We got Fournier, who I've been trying to trade all season. We just drafted, what's his name? William Nylander. So I don't think we need these 3 right wing prospects. I'm going to keep Macaron, I think. Wait a minute, who's closest to being ready? So I'm thinking move Macaron, maybe. Or do I want a player who's not going to be ready as soon? I don't know. So Dolo Rose. We get a lot of prospects, actually. So we got Bulio and Thrower. Maybe we don't need Tenorti. And then we could have a straight across trade. So Tenorti. Do I want to do that? Tenorti could be depth one day. One day Tenorti could be depth. So I'm thinking I want to keep Dietz, I think. I like having defensemen. Douglas Murray. Douglas Murray really dropped. Holy crap. I thought he had a good season. He was 83 overall. He really dropped. So there was a lot of interest in Fournier. Let's do Fournier. He would cover that first, or that second round pick. And now for the other second round pick and the third round pick, we'll throw in another player around the same value, which looks like it's going to be Macaron, maybe? Because we do got a lot of prospects right now. Too many. We got too many prospects right now. Especially because we're going to be drafting quality guys to replace them. So we got to take on some players by the looks of it. I think that's why the trade's not working. Doesn't look like they want to give any players away. That's what I'm seeing. Nope, they don't want to give any players away. So we're just going to take some bottom of the barrel players. We'll take someone just to play in our AHL team. So we'll take him. And then we'll take Anderson to replace one of these right wings for the AHL. So I'm feeling this trade. Get a lot of prospects with this. So gonna go, and it goes through. We can really make a splash here. Hosang, Kozin, Brennan. Let's see who's still left. Samuel Bennett's still there, and Vrana. So I think I'm down to Bennett or Vrana at this point. I don't know about Jared McCann. I've heard of him. Like, I know he's a good player in real life, but I'm not sure in this game. I haven't drafted him. That I can remember anyway. So we'll go for... I think I'm going to go for... We got a winger. Let's just complete it and get a center now. We got a left winger and a right winger. Let's get a center now. Maybe those three will be playing together one day. Quick sim it. Oh, Phoenix took him. You can see number 22, Nikolai Ehlers. That's who I was hoping to get with this next pick. It's not going to happen. Or Kasperi Kapanen I would have taken as well. Let's see who's left here. Braden Point is left. Adrian Kempe's left. I like Adrian Kempe. He's a power forward center, and he's usually 3.5 gold stars. So I think I'm just going to take Adrian Kempe. He could be a third liner one day. Braden Point, he's a good player as well. I don't know how good he is, though. So I'm going to take Adrian. Actually, when did we draft next? I should have checked that. If it wasn't early, I would have just taken Honka to make sure we get Honka. If it was a late third round pick that we had next, but I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is at all. So, you know what? We'll take Kempe for now. Yeah, we'll take Kempe for now. And we draft early in the third round, so we do have what it takes to get Honka. We don't have to make any trades here. We can leave our team as is. So let's shut down the phone. If Honka is taken, I am going to smash this controller. We're still fine. Julius Honka, come on down. Where are you? Julius Honka. You're the newest member of the Montreal Canadiens. Who's left now? Let's see who we have left in this. If there's no one I really want, I'll go look at defense or goalies, even though I don't think we need one. I'm not seeing anyone right now that I've heard of in this game doing well. So we got a third round pick. Let's look at a goalie. We haven't drafted a goalie yet. We've been pretty thorough everywhere else. I'm not seeing any goalies either. So this... I know you're supposed to draft at every position, every draft, but it does not look like that is going to happen for us. Gonna have to make a choice here, so let's see who we got. We got a left wing, two-way forward from Brandon, name Richard Buckerts. Alexis Anally. Okay, yep. A two-way forward from Finland. I don't know. I don't really have a preference here anyway, whatsoever. Ooh, come on. I don't see anyone in the later draft rounds that I've seen do well in this game. So I'm just going to go... Actually, wait a minute. This guy's been scouted pretty high on our list. Joe Hicketts. He's an offensive defenseman from Victoria, only 18. A little bit small. He's 5'9", but maybe one day he'd be a third liner. Looks like he has a decent shot and decent defense. Not a physical guy, but we'll go with Joe Hicketts. He's got our highest scouting rating. So trust the scouts on this one. See how he turns out. And that is the end of our draft. I'm just going to simulate the rest of it. And we'll see what happens. So hang up the phone, back out, auto draft. And now we can go into the re-sign phase and see what we got for our team. I think even if you win the Stanley Cup, you really do have to try to make a splash in this draft because it's so important. In later years, the drafts just aren't as good out of the first round. Even late in the first round, I drafted someone like 25th overall, and he'll be like a 3 gold star player. So he's really not going to be in the NHL. I think that's where EA has to do some improving, making the game a little bit more realistic when it comes to the draft. There's always some sort of diamond in the rough, so, you know, there should be some good players elsewhere, like in the draft, not just in like the first top 10. The second round's usually where there's, you know, some sort of surprise, not always, but there should be a couple good players available there. Stuff like that. Now, if I remember, Frederick Anderson, I think he was a 7th round draft pick, and now he was the Anaheim Ducks starting goalie for part of the year. Let me just look that up though. I think he was in a 7th round. Yeah, so he was the 187th overall. Oh, well, he was at one point the 187th overall draft pick, but then he got redrafted 87th, so I guess the 3rd round, but I don't know which player I'm thinking of, but I know there's players out there in the 7th round. A couple years later, they're already on the team. So EA really has to make the game more realistic in that sense. But let's look at who we got. Let's look at all our 18-year-olds. So Adrian Kempe, like I said, 3.5 gold star power forward. He's going to take a while to grow, but he could be a 3rd liner one day. Joe Hicketts, you know, he's got the red star potential, so not looking like he's going to make the team. Maybe as a depth player one day. Julius Honka, like I said, 4.5 red star, but he usually gets up to the 80 mark pretty quickly, and if he makes like an 81, 82, you know, he's around that area, I'm completely happy with that as a 3rd round pick. Sam Bennett, 4 gold star. Nothing special, but he will likely be on the team one day. William Nylander, as usual, 4.5 gold star. Hopefully he realizes that. Michael Del Call, also 4 gold star. Who else did we get? So D'Angelo, 4 gold star as well. And I don't know if I drafted anyone else other than that. I think everyone else is who we had on the team or who were auto-drafted. So our team, looking good. We got a good slew of prospects coming through our system. And some good young guys making a difference already, like Galchenyuk and Gallagher. So this team is looking strong for the future. All we got to do now is replace the players we traded away. So Emlyn we have to replace. Actually, that was it. I don't even think I traded away Bork. So we just got to replace Emlyn. We can do that in free agency. Re-sign Subban. We'll pretty much have the same team next year. Who knows if we'll be able to make another Stanley Cup run, but we might. So let's see. So I'm at 24 minutes. I'm going to end the video here and go into the re-sign phase in the next video.